What's up, guys? Welcome to another stream on Epic Summoners. Today we'll be going over the updates, the tier list, and the events that are happening this week. So, update 1.2.1 just was released recently, and they added some new leaders, as well as they also mentioned that once a hero is evolved into a leader, it cannot be used for a replacement in the hero square, and it cannot be used for disassembling in the altar. So once you make a hero into a leader, it's pretty much like you can't do anything else with it. So make sure the hero you're evolving into a leader is the hero that you're going to be using on your team, or else you can't get rid of it for now. But hopefully an update will change that, and we'll be able to change them with the magic book or something later on. And also there was a bug with Spirit Queen's skill, but that's been fixed now. So today I have finally updated the tier list, and it includes every single hero now, which includes Spirit Queen and Destroyer at 4. So I've added, for the changes for the tier list, I've labeled all the heroes that are leaders here, and I've also changed some of the tiers for certain heroes. Firewing, he's decreased to tier B because he's actually not that good of a hero for a tank. Ancient Tree, Furious Lion, Hydra, there's like many other tanks that function a lot better than him, so he's actually not that great of a tank. And also his speed and his attack are also very low, so he will hardly ever stun any hero, and he just doesn't have much effect in battle really. Ocean Breaker has been changed to tier A because he has a huge amount of damage potential, like Death Envoy or Hawkeye. They all have a very high damage potential because he increases the attack every single turn after ordinary attacks and on enemies' deaths. So his attack will increase exponentially, and he can just one-shot heroes in later rounds. And Battlefield General, he has decreased from tier A to B, and Paladin has increased from tier B to A, because Battlefield General, I originally thought he was a good tank, but his skills are really centered towards only warriors. He does extra damage to warriors, and he's mainly focused on dealing extra damage to warriors, which overall isn't that useful because the main tank won't always be a warrior, so he's a bit situational there. And also Paladin, I think, functions better overall because he has higher armor and also HP, and he also increases all heroes' crit by 15% when he's alive. So you can increase Captain Hook or Cleopatra or Ice Queen's crit by a lot when he's alive. So you, instead of getting crit on certain attributes on your badges or on your hero, you can aim for critical damage instead, or ignore armor, which are really effective damage attributes. And Ice Queen has been increased from tier A to S, and she's also become a leader, and Paladin's also a leader as well, so they're very good heroes to upgrade right now. And Ice Queen has been changed to tier S because not only does she have a leader skill right now, but she has freeze immunity, and she can freeze and reduce enemies' hit rate, which can change the battle, has a really good chance to change the outcome of battles. And at low HP, she gains reduce hurt and a lot of reduce hurt, and recovers max 25% HP for 2 rounds. So she can heal herself by a lot when she's at low HP. Versus Cleopatra, who is really just outstanding at petrify. So she can't recover herself or freeze, or she doesn't have immunity to petrification as well. So she's a little bit situational for the human camp. And also Storm Daughter, I've changed her to tier B from tier S. Originally I just put her at tier S because when she came out she sounded really strong, but actually after a while I saw her in a few battles in Guild Wars, and she is actually not that great at all, because mainly she does have a lot of damage, 750%, but the problem with that is it's split over 10 opponents, so the damage is very little to each opponent, and it really doesn't do that much. Like Captain Hook does almost the same thing, but he has the chance to petrify them and deals a lot more damage. So Storm Daughter really isn't that useful right now, and that is about it for the changes to the tier list. And if you want, on this tier list you can also sort the heroes. If you go to data, filter views, you can change, or you can sort it by the highest power, HP, attack, or you can sort it by specific heroes. Like if you want to find just assassins, you can sort it by assassins. If you want to sort it by, you can find different synergies. Like if you want to find the only heroes that have bleed, you can search bleed, and it'll sort all the heroes that have bleed here. And if you want to sort it by yeah, you can also sort them by like highest attack if you want to see the heroes that have the highest attack. Like F1 Dozer is the highest attack right now, and most of the tanks and other warrior heroes just have really low attack, but that's not what they specialize in. That's why they're tanks. So I just updated the visual tier list today as well, so everything's up to date now. The leader hero, I've added all of the leader heroes to the visual tier list. You can see the symbol here, the yellow skull, beside heroes that can be evolved into leaders. And I've also fixed the tanking abilities, support ability, and carry abilities for all the heroes now, so they're all up to date instead of the full bars that didn't really represent anything, but everything is up to date now. And I've also added Spirit Queen here, which is rank A, and Destroyer here, which is also rank A. And And the reason that Spirit Queen is rank A right now is because she can't become a leader compared to Monkey King, and she does have the ability to blind enemies, but I think her damage is just slightly worse than Monkey King. So she's more of a utility hero. She can blind and do damage, but Monkey King is more focused, and he also has a skill to steal enemies' fury, so he can use his skill multiple times, so that allows him to constantly use his skill over and over, whereas Spirit Queen isn't able to do that. Although she can blind enemies, she isn't able to use her skill as much and doesn't deal as much damage. So we'll see how she is for now, but for now we'll just give her an A rank. She's an A rank for now. And Destroyer F4, he has really high damage potential, but it only takes effect when he's at low HP. So, and he does heal as well, but it's also a very small amount. So he's a little bit worse than Hawkeye because he does a bit less damage. He only does a lot of damage when he's at low HP. Hawkeye does a lot of damage like at full HP, like right away he can deal a lot of damage. So his Destroyer's damage is very conditional. And so Destroyer is he's more useful for like an AoE team if you want to kill multiple enemies, but right now there's not really any hero in the dungeon camp that deals a lot of damage to all heroes, so it's better to just build a team focused around Hawkeye and Guardian F2 right now. And also all of the ranks for the heroes are updated as well, so I put moved Firewing down to tier B, and everything else, all the other heroes that were changed are updated now. And I think that's it for now. So there's so all of these pluses here mean that the hero has conditional damage, so that means, like, for example, Hydra, when every ordinary attack he does, he can gain 25% attack and then 5% dodge. So as the rounds go on, he gets stronger and stronger as he attacks, so he can deal a huge amount of damage. So that's why he has both the potential damage and very high potential damage. So he's got the white plus and the green plus. And then Night Daughter has green up arrow, which means that they already have the rank 7 base damage, but they're even better than that. So she's even higher than that because of her skill. She's like one of the top heroes in the game, and she can, if she ignores armor and it's a critical hit, usually she kills three heroes at once. And some of the top teams right now are, well, the top 2 teams right now are Barbarian and Dungeon, a mixed team with Hawkeye and Barbarian King, and using Axe King as the tank. And you want the Barbarian Kings in the front and Hawkeyes in the back, so the Barbarian Kings can tank and then the Hawkeyes can attack at the back line. And then the second strongest team right now is the Dark team, and the usual team is, right now it's like Bone Dragon or Plague Envoy as the tank, and you can use Death Envoys, Night Daughters, and Plague Envoys as the other heroes at the back, and you usually just want one Bone Dragon at the back as well, for his ability to freeze the opponent and also remove all opponent's fury. And the third team that's probably the most strongest is it's hard to tell right now, but I think it's between Human and Saint. I think Human might just be a little bit better right now because the Saint team right now just focuses on Monkey King and Monkey King and Spirit Queen and just these top heroes right here, Bahamut, Bow Punisher. Like the other heroes almost don't do anything, and there's not many heroes that can stun in the Saint team versus the Human team as well. They do have passive dodge and they have high speed, but if they're stunned by the Human team, then they'll just get taken out really quickly, because Captain Hook does a lot of damage and Wind Knight does a huge amount of damage. Ice Queen can freeze them. There's really a lot more options with the Human team than the Saint team. And then the last teams that are probably the worst right now is unfortunately Elemental, mainly because their aura doesn't buff their damage skills. It specifically buffs defensive skills, so their HP and armor are buffed, but those two attributes really don't do that much in the battle because it favors the damage attributes and crowd control attributes, because when they're stunned they can't do anything. So if a hero has a huge amount of damage, then they'll be taken out almost immediately. So they really have no function. They're basically all tanks with very little damage. And well, besides Hydra and maybe Scorpion King and Cerberus, those are the top three heroes that deal a lot of damage. And Fire Leader does deal a lot of damage as well, but the main issue with his skill is that it relies on chance. Like, a lot of his skills just rely on like 50% chance to burn them, and then if they're not burned, he can't silence them. So it really relies on a lot of chance. So you need to pair a lot of fire leaders together with Scorpion Kings and maybe Ancient Tree as a tank. But even still, even if you have the best elemental team, it can get taken out really easily by any other camp. And Barbarian and Dungeon, as I mentioned before, is probably the top camp right now. For Barbarians, you could use Axe King as a tank, Axe King or Bloody Hand as the tanks, and then use one Bloodseeker and the rest of them Barbarian Kings to deal damage. And then for the dungeon camp, pure dungeon camp, we could use F2 Guardian, which is probably the best tank since he can stun pretty much every time. He has a really high chance to stun opponents. And most teams just are F2 Guardian and 5 Hawkeyes, because Hawkeye is just so strong. He just deals a huge amount of damage. Like, his attack later on in battle usually just 1 or 2 shots all the heroes. But another good option is Punk Fists. If you want some CC, he's pretty good as well. So you could maybe have 1 Punk Fists. And again, Destroyer F4, he's not really that good right now because no other hero has AoE damage. So he might be better later on when they release more heroes in the dungeon camp. Alright, I think that covers... Oh, there's one more thing. So the... advantage. Okay, so the red is damage, the yellow is crowd control, the blue is tanking ability, green is support, and the carry ability is purple. So each hero has carry ability, which kind of reflects their current rank. So you can tell how good of a hero is based on its carry and its damage. Tanking ability is really limited because it's only like usually one hero in the first slot that does tanking. So the rest of the heroes have to take out the other heroes before the other team takes out their heroes. Yeah. And I think that just about covers it. The symbols here are freeze, petrify, stun, bleed, and burn. So you can look at all the different heroes, like Barbarian King has stun here, and he's a DPS. Phoenix is support and also tank. So you can use those symbols to get an idea of which characters you want to use for in each slot, and kind of get an idea of which heroes you want to use to build the 6 heroes on your teams. And also the S rank and some of the A rank heroes are really good heroes you should use for a rainbow team. But rainbow team is one of the weakest teams right now because it's just too spread out and a lot of the time the synergy with other heroes is either non-existent or it just makes the heroes a lot weaker, because the heroes within each camp synergize with each other instead of other camps. They don't really have too much synergy right now. Like there's only a few heroes with freeze. Bone Dragon has freeze and Ice Queen has freeze, but no other camp has freeze, so it's really limited what you can do with the rainbow team. And that covers everything about the tier list updates. So we'll get into the events now. Alright, so this week they have the fusion event, the altar shop, which is Storm Daughter and Destroyer. Both of these heroes, like I mentioned before, they're not really worth getting right now, so it's better to save your Dark Souls and just buy fodder for your team and upgrade your heroes. And if you already have 10-star teams, then it's better to start building up some of the higher tier heroes for other camps that you want to build. And the fusion event, which will be finishing, and advanced wishes, which will also be finishing. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, first we'll finish our daily quests really quick. Here is just gold really. If you get the 4-star hero, then it's best to refresh, since that's the main one of the main things you want to aim for is this, since you likely won't get the 5-star hero and everything else is not really as useful, because you'll eventually get them while spinning the wheel. But you need a ton of gold and you need 4-star heroes to build up other heroes. So those are the main 2 prizes that you'll need. And for the advanced wishing pond, They recently added the sunstones, which is kind of unfortunate because it replaced some of the other rewards. And sunstones are they're useful, but a lot of the time if you just use them all at once, if you fail an upgrade, it just wastes all of them. So it's good if it works, and it's not good if it just fails. And I guess we'll refresh this maybe a couple times just to get a fruit before we start spinning. Usually it's best to just get rid of them right away if you're not using them. 3 stars are good to keep for fusing 5 stars later on. Okay, let's just quickly finish this up, and then we'll do the advanced wishes first. Always worth buying. It's a really heavy resource that's needed for everything in the game. The other resources are not as useful since they aren't needed as much. So you can buy these, but it's best not to. If you have a lot of gems, it's not really worth buying. If you have some gems that you want to spend every day, the gold and hero shards are the best you can buy. Since you need, those are the 2 main things that you need to upgrade heroes. And let's check out our pub quest today. We got 20 4-star shards, which is really good. That's worth a lot of gems. Okay, we're down 180. Okay, but we got some really good rewards. So that's about 150. That's 210. And these tickets, we'll get the tickets as well. It's about 60 gems. So the tickets are worth keeping as well. If it's like 5-star ticket quests. Usually in the pub you'll make back the same amount or a lot more than what you spend refreshing tasks. So it's always good to spend a little bit to refresh. And there, we got 80 gems, so we probably just made back all the gems we spent there. And we'll just quickly do the guild arena battles. Alright. And for the guild arena, you want to have your weakest team first, then your middle team, and then your strongest team last. So basically you can do a little bit of damage with your first 2 teams, and then the final team will just take out all of their teams altogether. If you have like full 10-star teams, it doesn't really matter, but you should still use that order if you're using a full 10-star teams as well. So the reason for that is you want to have the opponent can basically use any heroes as the first team. So if they have like a really strong team first, then you can just immediately get rid of their strong team by using your weakest team, like even just a 1 5-star hero to get rid of their strongest team, and then their other 2 teams will be a lot easier. So you should first look at the opponent's team, and then that's what should decide how you should change your teams. Like this guy has all the 240s first, so if you just use like a 1 5-star hero here, you can take out his whole team, and then he'll have a lot more power, a lot less power, sorry. And then you can probably easily take out his other 2 teams. And in the Epic Arena League, you want to just battle everyone no matter what, because you get rewards from it. So again, use a similar setup to the guild challenge, as you have to win all 3 battles to win this Epic Arena. You can also skip opponents by pressing X and skipping them, but there's not really a point in doing that later on because the teams are all very difficult, and it's hard to climb up in the top ranks unless you have like a 3 full 10-star teams. So it's better to just attack each opponent and get a little bit of rewards. And from the rewards, you can actually get really good, really valuable items like mysterious potions, gold keys, wishes, and really useful items. So they're worth a lot of gems. So that's why you want to do it. Even if you lose some battles, you still get gold and other rewards that are useful than just skipping over the battle and you get nothing. You will go down a little bit in rank for losing, but it's worth it for the extra rewards that you earn. Again, just use a similar strategy to skill challenge. You want to use your weakest team first, and then the middle team is a little bit stronger, and your last team the strongest. And what's really nice is that you can see the power of opponents. So usually 5 stars have about 200k to 300k power, or maybe not that high, maybe about 100 to 200k power each. So you can automatically assume that since this guy has 2 10-stars, the rest of his team will be maybe under 500k power. Well, 700k to 500k power, since he already has 2 10-star heroes here. So the next, okay, so we're done all of the daily quests, and we'll get back to the advanced wishing pond. Hopefully we won't have to spend too much time. Okay, sweet. The world fruits are actually really hard to get, and you can only get them 10 times. So once you get the world fruit 10 times, then it just becomes gray, and you can't spin for it again. Or sorry, you can't get this reward again. And nice, we also got Stones of Revelation, which we also need for upgrading our equipment. So I'll spin, hopefully we'll get the fruit 10 times. Okay, so there, we got the fruit twice there. Another 2 fruits, so we have 6 tries left. And another 2 fruits, so it's 8. So I guess we might have to spend it again. I think that is it. Oh, sorry, maybe it's... Okay, no, I don't know. For some reason it's more than that. Maybe they increased it to 20. Because each of these count as 1 hit, so they must have increased it to 20 since we got 2 each time. and now it's gray, so we can't get fruits as a reward anymore. So we'll just refresh, and it's not the best rewards right now, but we do need blue obsidian stones and orange statue shards, so we'll just spin some of these rewards. One more spin. Oh, nice, we got the blue obsidian. Nice. Okay. Oh, yes, perfect. Now we got more fruits. Hopefully we can get... Oh, wow, we got the magic book on the first spin, too. Okay, that's really good. And we got some more fruits. Getting a lot of stones of revelation to upgrade our equipment, so that's really, really good. And we got all the fruits. And I think that was all of our spins. Maybe I did one too many there. Oh yeah, I did way too many. I should have done a lot less because I'm VIP 3 right now, so we didn't need to use that many wishes, but that's alright. Okay, so we're finished all of the advanced wishes, and we got a bunch of these smelting stones, which are really, really useful. So the smelting stones in the forge, once you increase your equipment to level 7, you can start to use smelting stones, and each smelting stone increases the success rate by 1%. So you can actually increase the success rate to 100%, and that'll just guarantee that you get the upgrade. So you definitely want to do that because the upgrades cost a lot of resources, and when you fail, it takes a lot of time to get them back. So it's definitely, once you get to this point, you want to always use the maximum amount of smelting stones to get 100% success rate, because you don't want to waste any of these resources. And since we're finished that, we'll finish the fusion event now. So we need to make 10 5-star heroes and 10 6-star heroes. So we'll summon all of these. Oh, okay, inventory's full right now, so we'll create some 6 stars and then create some more 5 stars after that. Alright, so we'll create our Bone Dragon 6-star. And you want to use heroes that are naturally not 5 stars, so any of these heroes here as fodder, because it's a lot harder to get these heroes that are naturally 5 stars. And they're also a lot better. So we're also going to make an Ice Queen. And we're going to make another Phoenix. Actually, we're going to hold off on Phoenix right now because we need her in guild challenges, because priests are the top. Okay, I'll just show you right now. Priests are the top heroes to defeat almost any heroes in the guild challenge. So the top 2 teams right now are this team right here, F2 Guardian and 5 Hawkeyes, that can pretty much beat every single team, defensive team, and also basically every single healer. So healers are really strong. Phoenixes, Earth Prophet, if you don't have Phoenix or Panda, is really good too. And Bahamut is useful as a tank as well. Oh. Okay, I didn't want to set that as my defensive team, but we'll just do with that for now. It'll reset after 24 hours. Okay, so this is actually the team I wanted to use to attack. I wanted to set an easier team without an aura, so other other guildmates can get basically free heroes after, like, you get 4 free attempts per day, so after about maybe 12 to 15 days you can get almost a hero of your choice if they're using a really easy setup and the heroes that you want to get, because you get 1 hero shard for every single attempt that's successful. So this is the really, right now some opponents can still beat this defensive team because I don't have 5 or 6 Phoenixes right now. But most of the time there's maybe a 90% chance of winning with this team. So you want to always aim for heroes that you want to build, especially dungeon and barbarian heroes, since it's harder to get those and harder to build them as well. And they're also the top team right now, the top strongest team right now, so getting their shards are really helpful as well. Yeah, this team is really strong here, barbarian and dungeon mixed team. So we'd probably need 6 Phoenixes to defeat that team. And this team is basically, I'm not too sure how they defeated this team here, but it must have been maybe 6 Phoenixes as well to defeat this team. You can get a lot of mysterious potions and other items if other people lose to your team, but you don't really want to do that in your guild unless you make a separate guild specifically for farming hero shards for your own benefit, because you can create like 20 or 30 accounts and then have just basically lose to yourself 30 times, and if you do that then you get 4, if you lose to yourself 25 times you can get 4 miracle syrups every day. So basically every 12 to 15 days you can get basically a hero of your choice. So for now we'll just finish off the rest of our attempts. Phoenixes are really strong since they all heal each other and then increase their attack on death, so they all increase a lot of attack and have like a lot of synergy with each other. Okay, so after the 4 free attempts it costs these scrolls, which you can buy for 100 gems, but it's not really worth doing that since it's random which hero shards you get. And in the combat lab, you want to upgrade the teams that you're working on right now. So you should upgrade the camp first and then the major. So like if you're working on a dark team, you want to upgrade reduce hurt, well, crit first for damage, and then reduce hurt for defensive and tanks. And then you can choose between attack or skill damage, because anti-crit really isn't too important until later on. You can increase it a little bit at a time, like 1 attack, 1 anti-crit, 1 skill damage, or something like that. So you get a little bit of each skill. And then you want to focus on the majors. So you want to focus on first the major that you're using in your team the most. Like if you have like 5 barbarian kings, you want to upgrade this to max first, or second after the camps. So again, you want to focus on crit first, then dodge. Sorry, you want to focus on speed first, because speed determines who attacks first. So you want to max speed immediately, and then focus on crit, and then dodge. And then the other 2, armor penetration and attack, you can increase them just 1 at a time, or focus on 1 and upgrade the other after. And okay, so let's get back to the fused quartz and finish making our 6 stars. So we'll create a 6-star Axe King, since that's one of the top heroes. And we'll also make an F2 Guardian, since he is a very good stunning hero tank. And we'll create an Oblivion Dragon as well to use as fodder to upgrade Barbarian King or Axe King later on. Since Oblivion Dragon he's really not that good. He can petrify all of the opponents, but it's a pretty low chance, and his healing ability is really not that good either, because oh perfect, we got a Barbarian King from that, but his healing ability just recovers him like once, all the heroes on the team once when he's at low HP, and it's a very little amount as well, so
hello,
he's really not worth building. And for the fusion, you really don't want to exchange these heroes unless it's like the last copy you need to maybe 6-star or 10-star hero, because it costs 2 extra 5-star heroes to be able to exchange for a single 5-star hero. So in Barbarian King's case, it's pretty worth it, since he's one of the top heroes, and you can also, if you can use it to complete the fusion event, that's another good way to make the 6-star heroes you need. And we got enough shards to summon Hawkeye just from doing the guild challenge, so that's really good. We can build him. Save these for now, but we'll use them. We might have to use a few of them if we can't make all the 6 stars right now. Okay, so we can make another 6-star Hawkeye. Ooh, but we don't have the fodder for him. Okay, so we will summon some 4 and 5-star shards and make those. Make 5-star heroes to complete the fusion event. hopefully we'll get some Barbarian King shards and some Barbarian and Dungeon shards to complete fusing Hawkeye. Alright, so we can make a 5-star Dark Hero now. And hopefully another hero. Okay, nope. We need to summon more shards. Alright, nice. We can make another human hero now. And we can use all of these for fodder later to create 6-star heroes or upgrade them to 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 stars. So the shards that if you do buy the shards every day from the daily challenge, this will help a lot to complete fusion events. So we can't make anything else right now. So we'll summon some more heroes. We're too short, so we'll just use Elemental since we won't be making any Elemental heroes. Some light heroes. We might exchange some of these heroes for Barbarian King, because it's hard to get Barbarian King from. It's just hard. Yeah, it's hard to get Barbarian King. This game, because if you summon from here, it could be Barbarian or Dungeon, and there's no way to directly create them here. There's no way to fuse them randomly directly and get a Barbarian or Dungeon hero. So it's harder to get Barbarian and Dungeon heroes overall. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't want to do that right now, but that's alright. We got a Bloodseeker, and we can use other heroes as fodder. So we'll just exchange some of those elemental heroes for a Barbarian King. Barbarian King. And another way to get heroes is using the altar. So after you fuse a bunch of heroes, you can buy all the shards to create 5-star or even 6-star heroes. So we can use these heroes to hopefully create upgrade our Hawkeye to 6 stars. And I think that's it for now. Okay, so I think we can make another 5-star dungeon hero if we summon those. 5-star dungeon hero, and I think we just need one more to create Hawkeye. So how many heroes do we need? Okay, so we can use Inventor. Okay, you know what? We'll just use Inventor and Tree Dozer as fodder, since we won't be building either of those. And now we have 6-star Hawkeye, and we need 4 more 6 stars and 3 more 5 stars. Okay, hopefully we can make those now. So we can make another barbarian fodder. Actually, let's keep... yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we're almost finished the event. We still have a ton of hero shards. Way too many hero shards, so we might just create some extra 5 stars. Okay, now we have a lot of options, so we can make another Monkey King. Yeah, I think we'll make another Monkey King. Another thing you can do for fusion events is use miracle syrups to summon heroes. So you can use the miracle heroes to summon the rest of the shards that you don't have. So we could make a plague envoy. And maybe a death envoy as well. Let's see if we have any. Okay, so we could make another 6-star death envoy actually. We just need this assassin hero here. So hopefully we can get his shards. Okay, there's one. And we'll just make the 6-star paladin, since we'll be using him later. But we don't really have any fodder. Okay, Dawnstar is not that great, so we'll use him as fodder. Ninja is also fodder. And we'll use Battlefield General as fodder. Okay, so now we have Paladin. And this is another great event to get fruits and 20 fruits and 20 witch crystals, which are really good to complete other events. So it's, if you can finish all 6 heroes, like even if you have to sacrifice some miracle syrups or sacrifice some heroes doing fusions, it's worth it for the fruits and fiery witch crystals. Summon some more heroes and maybe just fuse some of the 3 stars because we have so many. Alright. And we can make... oh, perfect. We got enough of the assassins to make him, and then we can make another Death Envoy. Just enough fodder to make it. Okay. So we'll just do some 3-star fusions now, since we have way too many. Stars now, or still not yet. Okay, we'll just use elemental heroes. And we can make a Cleopatra. Don't think we want to make a Cleopatra right now. I don't know if we're going to use her on the team yet. Okay, so we'll make another Monkey King. Some of our heroes now. So we can upgrade. I think we can upgrade Plague Envoy. Oh no, we need 1 fodder. Okay, so if we make a 6-star Ocean Breaker, then we can make so we need another oh nice, we got 2 already. We need another one of those assassins to make it. Okay, let's see if we can upgrade any of our other heroes, because we're running out of hero space. We should be able to upgrade at least one of them. Okay, maybe not. And our inventory's full. Okay, I'm just gonna fuse some heroes then, randomly. I think we have too many 4-star heroes. It's 4-star Earth heroes. Or elemental heroes. Yeah. Oh wow, we got the assassin we needed. Okay, perfect. So now we can create the Ocean Breaker and then use Ocean Breaker to fuse, to upgrade Death Envoy. Or Plague Envoy. And we'll just use Night Dragon, 9-headed dragon as fodder. since we won't be making him. Okay, so now we can upgrade. Oh shoot, we still need more fodder. Okay, so we need more 5-star dark heroes to be able to use this fodder to upgrade them to 6 stars. Okay, so we'll just make, hopefully get another dark fodder from fusing these elemental heroes. We got a barbarian. Oh, and we can make a blood seeker or barbarian king right now. Oops. Okay, we do want to upgrade barbarian king, but we don't really need a second copy of him. We can build him later. So we'll make a blood seeker since we don't have him yet. Oh, but we need more fodder, of course. Okay, that's gonna have to wait then. I think we have some space now. Yes, we have a lot of space. Okay, so we'll summon a bunch of 4 stars. And hopefully get enough fodder to do something. Okay, so I think we got a bunch of dungeon and barbarian fodder there. It's still not enough. But we can make a dark hero, so we just need a few more to make the upgrade. Alright, we'll just... Oh, we still don't have enough. Okay. We'll just use the elemental heroes again. We still need some dark heroes. Alright, so we have some extra fruits, so we'll just summon a few heroes and see what we get. 5 stars? Oh, okay, sweet. Alright, so I think that should be enough 5 stars to upgrade our Plague Envoy now. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And our Ocean Breaker. Okay, perfect. There. Now he's... quite a ways to go before he's 9 stars and then 10 stars. But that's alright. We'll get there eventually. Okay, perfect. And we're done the fusion event. So I think we'll save our resources for now. Just make maybe 3 more 5 stars since we have so many shards. Like by the next fusion event we should have even more shards, so we have way too many right now. A good number is maybe around 6,000 or 7,000 of each shard to be able to finish the fusion event. Still need a lot more fodder to make our barbarian hero. Okay, so we'll just do a few more summons and maybe create 1 or 2 more 5 stars. So this will be our last 5 star that we make. Until next time. Oh nice, we found a boss. So that's basically free 600 gems. As long as the boss attacks it. And the gem amount depends on your level, so when the boss level increases, you get more gems. Right now it's 145, so you get 600 gems. And if it's lower, you get 500, then 400, then 300. Oh wow, okay, we got 2 in a row. Sometimes you can get maybe 3 to 5 in a row, and I've heard that some people got it 15 or something like that in a row as well. So it all depends on luck, but apparently if you scout really fast, like right after it dies you scout it immediately, then there's a higher chance that you'll find another boss right away, like we just did right now. So after you get the rewards, just immediately scout. Okay, we weren't lucky that time, but that works sometimes. So you can get more gems if you get lucky from summoning multiple bosses in a row. And this is the new hero which will be coming soon. I think their name is Kyron from the patch notes, and I'm not too sure what element it is, so we'll find out when we reach it. It's kind of like a cross between like a dragon and a pig and a cow. For the shadow boss, each time it's defeated, you get these rewards here, and then after you claim the rewards, the new boss will spawn, and it'll be all of these monsters will increase in difficulty. So depending on your server, you might have really strong bosses, or really strong shadow clones in your shadow tower if the top players can constantly defeat the shadow boss. So each time it's defeated, the levels increase, I think, by 1. And the amount of stars they have also increases. I'm not too sure when it increases, but they all have 5 stars now, and they used to just be regular 5-star heroes, or 9 stars or 8-star heroes. And there was a point where I could just clear all these stages at once, but since the difficulty is increasing, I can't clear the stage right away anymore. So we'll have to be upgrading our heroes to be able to constantly beat these stages every day. So you can check out the boss now. So it's a Saint Priest. So the previous boss was, when we just killed it, was 295, so now it's upgraded to 300 since we recently killed it. And each shadow clone you defeat, it deals this amount of damage to the boss, or yeah, the combined amount of these two to the boss. And then you also get those rewards. So we definitely can't beat this boss right now, but we'll see his skills and see what he can do. So he has some sort of lightning skill, his ordinary attack, and then he has an AoE skill that I think hits all heroes. And we didn't survive longer than 2 rounds, so I'm not too sure if it has any other abilities. But if you do defeat him, you get 10 5-star hero shards. I think the reward actually increased from 8 before. So after 5 days, if you can kill this boss, you can summon a 5-star hero. And then on top of that, there's also the ranking rewards for the amount of points. So if you get 40,000 points, you can get a huge amount of gold, 5-star shards, and world fruits. So you should always save your tickets until you can guarantee one of the better prizes. Hopefully, like, you can get the 40,000, but you need a really strong team to be able to kill this boss every day to get the 40,000 reward. And I think you need to refresh this about 7 to 10 times to be able to get 40,000 points, because you can only get something around 3,000 points per day. So you'll only reach around 20 to 30,000 points if you defeat this boss every day. And then if you get the top rankings, you can get mysterious potions, so it's good to aim for at least rank 100 to 200 to get the mysterious potions, and rank 5 if you want fruits, 5 or higher if you want fruits. And rank 6 to 10 for the maximum amount of potions. So usually what I do is at the last day, if I'm like close to the next tier, I'll just do a few runs and hopefully pass out a few people in the rankings as well. So you want to aim for at least a good amount of mysterious potions. And you get gems from this as well, so you can use that, save that towards the Gem Tycoon events. And I think that pretty much covers everything. we'll just quickly do the expedition. In the expeditions, if you take off all your equipment, then you can face slightly weaker opponents since it's based off the amount of power for your team. So if you take off the equipment, all your heroes have slightly less power, so opponents that are generated here will have less power. The best thing you can buy right now is 5-star hero shards, since everything else is really, it's either too expensive or just not worth it. Around stage 9, they're all 10-star teams. And yeah, we already lost here, so yeah, that team is really strong. Full light team. But we'll get there eventually. Once we finish our dark team, we should be able to get pretty far. For the altar, they recently added hero smelting, and you need Sphinx to evolve heroes. So you can sacrifice some of your hero. Well, you really don't want to do this. This is only meant for when you're finished all your 10-star teams, like at least 1 or 2, because you need to sacrifice heroes that you made to be able to evolve heroes that you're building. So you can sacrifice, for example, 7-star hero will give you 30 of them plus 10 of the camp Sphinx plus 7 of the hero Sphinx, and then 8-star hero will give you 50, and then 20 of the camp Sphinx and 9 of the hero Sphinx. So seems like you get more for each star that's increased, or like a lot more than just sacrificing like a 7-star then 8-star or 9-star then 10-star. So it's worth upgrading your hero to the next stage before using it as smelting fodder. And then of course you have a 10-star hero, which gives you 120 Sphinx, 50 of the camp Sphinx, and 15 of the hero Sphinx. And then to upgrade your hero, right now I only have Monkey King and Phoenix that are 10 stars right now, but you press this skull icon here and you can upgrade your hero, or you can evolve your hero into a lord, which gives you leader skills, which are these skills right here. So you need 60 Sphinx, 15 camp Sphinx, and 12 hero Sphinx. So approximately you need to make around 3 heroes, 3 6-star heroes to be able to upgrade to 1 level. And then once you upgrade it, you'll unlock the first 2, and then I think this will probably increase after you evolve it, or it'll be the same. I think it'll probably go up after you increase it, so you need even more Sphinx, camp Sphinx, and hero shards, and then it'll probably be the next 2 skills, and then the final one will be even more, and then unlock the last 2 skills. So for the evolved heroes, some of the leader skills, the main thing is that they increase the damage done to non-leader heroes, so they deal a lot more. And then it also upgrades some of their current skills as well, and gives them bonuses like increased fury points here. And for Phoenix, it gets increased damage against non-leader heroes, and upgrades the Falling Flame, so it has a chance to burn the enemy, and each round deals 2.5% damage total HP. So they gain a lot of new skills, some upgraded skills, and increased damage against other non-leader heroes. So if you have leader heroes, they have like a really good benefit for your team. And apparently Phoenix is like really strong. Like this, with its skills, if you upgrade it, it almost becomes unbeatable because of its high defense, and it heals itself every single round. And let's see if we can upgrade our equipment. Okay, so we'll try to get, I think we failed a couple times, but hopefully this works. Okay, we'll try again. Alright, so we got our belt to level 5, or our jewelry to level 5. And hopefully we can get this to level 6. Oh, yes. Okay, so we got that 6, and we're just 1 upgrade away to 7. Okay, oh, so here at level 6 you can actually use the smelting stones, so you can increase it to 100%. Maybe it's not worth right away using them since it's a 50% success rate, but maybe you can upgrade it to like 90. But still, if you're using that many smelting stones, it's better to just add a couple more and just do 100%. Because you lose both the stones and the smelting stones if it fails. Alright, and since it's the weekend, you get 2 days to clear 100 stages. So let's see how far we can get. And at the end of, if you're able to clear all 100 stages, you get a free Oblivion Scroll. So every time or every week you can get a free Oblivion Scroll that can be used to reset a full row of upgrades. So it's really not worth getting. If you get an Oblivion Scroll in the mystery shop or from here, it's really not worth as much anymore, since you can get it for free if you defeat stage 100 here. But it is very difficult to be able to defeat stage 100, so it might take some time before being able to get an Oblivion Scroll. So 3 stages. And on the weekends, you also get a bonus. There's also bonus rewards. You get more rewards and higher amounts of rewards. You get 2 of each reward. So you get the guaranteed reward plus the extra rewards. And you get a lot of gold and other resources as well. Okay, so I won't go through all these stages. You can just go through the stages on your own, and you'll see later on if you can reach higher stages, you get better rewards, more gold, more fancy essences, and more stones. And eventually you get to a point where the rewards here will change to smelting stones. So you can actually get smelting stones to upgrade your equipment from this as well. And if you can't defeat an opponent, then their HP stays the same, so you can reattempt it again. And you can also use these badges here that you get from defeating stages throughout the week to refresh a skill. So this increases hit of all heroes by 20%, and this ordinary attack hits have 25% chance to freeze the enemy. So that's really useful. If you can't defeat a stage, it's definitely a good idea to spend a few badges to get a skill for the battle. And it only lasts for 1 battle. And another thing to note is that if all your heroes die, you can restore them using 150 of them. But it's really not a good idea to do that unless you can't beat the stage. And it's better to use all your heroes at once. So use all your 200s, all your 100 level heroes, and attempt the stage, so to do at least a little bit of damage since they can't recover. And then you can check the rankings here. Right now, only 3 people have been able to clear all 100 stages. And I think these are the teams they're using right now. So Dark is obviously one of the top teams, Barbarian, and Dungeon are all teams that can clear 100 stages. And a new thing is the leader. Any hero that's evolved into a lord gets this sparkly effect, so you know which heroes are evolved and which heroes are not. And I think that covers everything in Epic Summoners. If you enjoyed the stream and you want to support the channel, then you can subscribe or tune in next week for another episode of Epic Summoners. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good weekend, and see you later.